Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. We're going to talk about Daniel Martel. He's come back into the news discussing the cadaver dogs on site with a Canadian news channel. And I really don't know what to think in whether it's just a crusade for him to clear his name. He does come across as genuine, very, very genuine. And a high percentage wants me to believe that he is innocent and that he's not done anything to the kids. And that is Malaya, who maybe had given those kids to somewhere else to look after them because she couldn't and she knew Daniel couldn't. I think it is really affecting Daniel a lot more than it is Malaya. I think Malaya has stayed quiet and she seems to get a lot more support. But it's odd how quiet she is compared to Daniel, who's liaised with the police. He's not gone on the run. He's confidently talking about the things he did. Sometimes it doesn't always make sense. Like I said, we know that he's had a problem with drugs. Probably still takes them, but trying to sort of maybe come off them. But it is a strange one, this case, because you want to believe him. You want to believe he's innocent, because I think if he is innocent and his kids are found alive and he's nothing to do with it, I think he'll get a lot of love. And people will say probably sorry to him. Even I've thought, God, at the end of the day, I hope nothing's crazy's happened to these kids, or he isn't a nutcase. Does he know something? I'm not sure. I don't know. Because, like I said, he's not really giving me. I know that he can't remember stuff sometimes at the end of the day. The only thing that freaks me out a little bit is that he's very aware of what's around him, the land, detail, and stuff like that, more than what I thought. I mean, the landscape he knows very, very well. So, does he know well enough to actually hide something in it? It can never be found for years on end. Who knows? I don't know. But like I said, that's just a theory in the back of my mind. So let's get straight into this interview. But I just want to know from the public, do you think he's guilty or do you think he's innocent? Please let me know, people, because obviously this has gone on a little while now. And people know who Daniel Martel is, the stepdad of Miss and Lily and Jack Sullivan. And the kid's mum is Malaya Brooks Murray. But like I said, we've heard from certain family members. We've heard from someone who believes that family member who believes that basically the kids were picked up early morning. That would make sense to me, and whisked off somewhere for a new life. But it is bizarre in that the police haven't got a trace them where they are. All we want to do, if someone has got them, all we want to do is that they're alive and safe, and see pictures and videos that they are safe and happy. But it is really, really bizarre, because obviously this group she's a part of, we don't know whether deep down they've got something to do with it, or whether the kids are still in Canada. There's been sightings apparently of them in America. That wouldn't surprise me, but nothing's really come of it. The police have gone really more or less quiet after the cadaver dogs. Bits and bobs keep coming out, but I think they're at a loose end as well. Let me know what you think, people. Daniel, guilty or innocent? What is your honest opinion? Because we need to discuss this. We move on to the CBC News Nova Scotia, talking to Daniel Martel about the cadaver dog search. Let's get straight into this.
But you didn't know when?
I actually got back from a visit with my daughter, and I come home and the dogs were already, on scene, and they were there for about an hour before I got there. I didn't know the exact day when the arrival was going to happen. It was even a surprise to me, but at the end of the day, everything's ruled out there, and I hope this speculation, turns elsewhere.
So you arrive home after visiting with your daughter. Mm-hmm. They're there, and then what happens?
They're there, and then, I walk up, greet them, and meet them for the very first time. It's like, can I come close to you and the dogs? And he said, oh, yeah. And then, investigators were there, or one investigator, and had a conversation with him, and they said, look, yeah, we're going to do the property. I said, perfect, like, let's do every square inch. And that's when it began with, where do you think we should where do you think we should search? And in my mind, these guys are the best. They're supposed to be the best. They should have mapped the terrain, looked at satellite imagery, and found every single speck on that property that needed to be searched. And they should have had, better coordination with reviewing those maps and people involved from the start with search and rescue to determine areas they need to search.
What happened? Did you tell them where to search or advise them, or what?
Yeah, I gave them like any indication that, soft grounded areas like the marsh, the ponds, anything like that. But I said, you're welcome to do it anywhere. They did inside the house. They did, everywhere, vehicles. They did everything they could in the amount of time that they were given to do it.
So what did they search when they came inside? How did that go?
Well, when they took the dogs, like, inside the house, they ran from one side of the house to the other, waiting for the dogs to, bark or pick up a scent, and nothing was located. Same with all the property. There was no indication of anything. They didn't do it once. They took in both dogs. They did the whole thing. They did like up the road. They did the blanket site. They did pipeline where the boot print was found. They exhausted every single area within Lansdowne.
Yeah, the pipeline trail right here where we're standing.
Mm-hmm. They spent every hour they could searching, not planning or anything like that. They were boots on the ground, just doing whatever they could.
You were mentioning that you had a bit of a tense reaction with one of the dog handlers. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, it was a little bit heartbreaking and saddening to hear what the words that came out of his mouth. And for me, all I was trying to do was ever help. Like that's all I've been doing is cooperating, and to see that and hear that, it was pretty saddening.
What did he say?
He said your Thursday and all the way leading into Friday morning, there's not enough detail. And I said to him that Thursday was just an ordinary day until I woke up on Friday morning. And that's when life changed. There was nothing like life changing on Thursday. It was a normal day. So therefore, there was nothing detailed that needed to be remembered that day until Friday morning.
So he was mentioning something along the lines of something happened Thursday night, and your story isn't matching up?
Yeah, well, not just matching, it didn't have enough detail for him personally. And then that's when I asked him, do you know anything on the case? And he said, not really. I've seen you on the news once. And that kind of alarmed me, or, shocking, because you're having somebody that's trying to get you to admit to something and they don't know any details. So therefore, my Thursday didn't have any details. Your knowledge of the case didn't have any details. So you shouldn't try to force something on me without knowing any of the background.
Did he make any accusations at you?
Yeah, he did.
There's a very, very good point in what he's saying. And we haven't heard from the police coming back, or anyone, should I say, in power or authority in this case, saying that this basically, police dog man has said something out of order. Do you know what I mean? It is bizarre.
He said that Thursday didn't have enough details, and we think you did something to the kids Thursday night. And I asked him, what are you talking about? I just ran through whole Thursday and Wednesday with you. We just spent the last 20 minutes talking, and there's not enough detail because I thought it was an ordinary day. In the end, cadaver dogs were there. They went through, and the story continues. In conclusion to all this, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. I'm still helping investigators at every turn we could possibly think of. And hopefully we see some kind of resolution soon, or some kind of outcome that's positive.
How's that communication in your relationship with RCMP now, 5 months later, and then given that interaction a few weeks ago?
At this point, I go to them. They don't ever come to me. It's just like I have to contact them. I have to go to them. And it's been like that for a little while now. Because I've given them so many leads. And there's only so much I can do. I was told not to pursue any leads. So I'm not the one who's going to be going out there investigating.
Why do you pursue leads? Because you're still out there talking to people and finding out new details.
By pursuing leads, I mean if I have a lead, I don't track it down in person. But yeah, like I'm still open to talk to the public. I have no fake accounts. I don't have anything that would be not under my name. Like I go fully into every comment with my name present. So I have nothing to hide. People are free to message me whenever, and people are free to discuss anything they want with me. Any angle, any perspective that they have,
one of the things
I'm open
is
to it.
you could be so honest,
and I will pass it along to investigators if it's a solid
people
perspective.
will still judge you on that as
Every
well
tip matters.
for being too honest.
All 800 and almost 900 of them matter.
Do you find that engaging helps for you?
It doesn't help me mentally, that's for sure, but I still do it. I'm basically desensitized to all judgment at this point. So if anybody has anything, you can just come to me, or you can go to Major Crimes. You can go to your local police department. They'll pass along tips, or Crime Stoppers. The whole situation has drug on for way too long, and it's absolutely destroying everyone involved.
So what does this tell you now that the cadaver dogs were in, they didn't find anything? Do you think like the part on the woods, do you think that's case closed?
It should be case closed. It should have been case closed from the very start. Because with the amount of resources and technology and amount of searchers and everyone deployed in that the initial search, that was a lot. That was an 8-kilometer radius outwards. And it's just the amount of money and people's time, injuries that were sustained during that. It's just, people should have just opened their eyes to see that we need to look elsewhere. I pointed many fingers, and I think that's where the people should look.
Not here.
Not here. Not in the woods. If fingers have been pointed, let's start taking a look.
What's going through your mind as you see their picture every day still?
It's just heartbreaking to know that 5 months have passed, and
This time's just
school
flown by.
started.
So sad.
The summer ended. Like, this should be a chance for kids to be interacting and doing kid things, enjoying their lives as kids. You know, like, it's not just all the kids that miss them from school and community, and at this point the whole country that know they're missing. It's just like I have kids too that know that they're missing too, and like that's heartbreaking for them. Like, Meadow doesn't understand, but one day she will, and she knows that Dad spoke up for Jack and Lily when no one else would.
Interesting stuff by Daniel Martel there. Interesting stuff. And I thought it was interesting that the dog handler tried to accuse him or want him to admit to something that he didn't do. He speaks very well for himself, but our main concern is those kids, and where are they? I think that's the main concern. I really, really do, and I hope that they're found soon. I think him coming out now and again to the national news, okay, but him talking to YouTubers and TikTokers, I think some of them could be trying to sort of waiting for a slip up. Some of the things make sense, some of it doesn't. Some of his reactions sometimes are quite odd. Maybe he gets nervous, or sometimes forgetful as well. Nobody's perfect. I truly respect that. Nobody is perfect. But it is a very, very odd case. I see some of the channels, Michelle, who's got a brilliant channel, talks about this case, and do go and support her because she's trying to get 100,000 before the end of years to get a plaque, which is absolutely brilliant. So keep going there. And she's on the case. And I'm there too. It's hard to know. And I think it's possibility Malaya may know a bit more. Sometimes the money, it's like the Jay Slater case. Some of his friends who hadn't said a word and were supposed to be so close to him, such as Brandon, much like that case. But like I said, this is a bit different because there's actually kids gone missing since May the 2nd and hasn't been found yet. And Daniel, it's always come across, he hasn't changed his MO or personality into what he is, or gone on the run and done anything silly. He's been there in the front line, and he's taken, a lot of hammerings at the moment. And because, like I said, he's whether he's done something or not, he's still a suspect until these kids are found. It's as simple as that. And I want him to be innocent, and he's going to get a lot of apologies. But like I said, those kids have to be found first. Let me know what you think, people. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment and follow the channel. Thank you.